Hi there, my name is Nick Schultz. I'm a field applications engineer at Crank Software, and today I want to give you a quick demonstration to show you how Storyboard makes it easier for development teams to build sophisticated, power-efficient applications for their embedded products. So what I want to do is walk you through a typical scenario in the world of embedded graphics design. And on the Storyboard side, this is where, if you open up Storyboard for the first time, you're greeted with your welcome panel, links to tutorials, documentation, support, all that good stuff. But we'll go ahead and start with an import. So new project from Photoshop content. I'll simply go and browse to the PSD that we have. And in this case, my thermostat file. Go ahead and leave everything default. A few different options here if you wanted to kick off a new project, start a new content within an existing one, stuff like that. Hit finish. And we're going through the tools, reading the Photoshop file, slicing everything up and laying it out for us. So as you can see, we have all of the screens laid out on the left-hand side for us. In this case, we just ordered them alphabetically here, so I could go and take the thermostat screen and make it my start screen. And if I make changes to one of the layers, like the menu layer there, you can see those changes propagate to each instance. So again, the case where you want to define something once, use it multiple times. And each layer is made up of controls. So you can see there sort of the bounding box, its width, its height, its dimension. And that's where you can specify if you're using images, text, fonts, fills, and we can even use dynamic gradients if you want. So you could come up with interesting effects and even start building up masking content within there. So a lot of really cool and powerful stuff. But what most people want to do is once they've got some content in place, they actually want to create some behaviors. So in this case, we've got a few different screens where it'd be very easy to set up some navigation. So if you wanted to click these buttons along the bottom, select weather there, right click, add an action. We can go ahead and say touch, trigger a screen transition, and you can choose a neat effect. And I will go ahead and say a nice fade transition there. Select our destination, weather. From there, you can modify other properties if you'd like. Hit OK. You can see we now have our action set up to register a touch event on that control. I could go ahead, copy that, paste it here, and simply change my destination back. And in this case, I'll go ahead and simulate our application. And this is our embedded engine running on my desktop. And you can see here I've got some nice animated screen transitions. But maybe I want to do something a little bit more intuitive and reactive. So we could actually go ahead and set up some draggable screen transitions here too. So the nice thing there, if you're thinking about maybe a wearable device or something else where you could actually go through and create that swipeable left-right effect. So in this case, when we show the screen, we can set up the bindings for left and right drags. So I'll bind this onto a screen show post event. So after we show the screen, we will go ahead and set up a screen drag transition. And in this case, I can choose a bunch of different effects. And maybe for fun, we'll take a 3D rotation. And I can go through and say, if I want to drag to the left, I'm going to go to the security screen. And if I'm dragging to the right, I would like to go to the weather screen. And there's options as well for up and down, tuning the threshold, stuff like that. We'll leave that set there for now. And now, if we were to simulate, we can play around with that. So you can see I've got my drag event set up there. So if we save our changes, I still have my transitions there, but now I've got that nice draggable functionality left and right. And if we wanted to, complete that picture, we could even copy this and set up a carousel effect on the other screens. So, in the case of going to the left, it took us to the security screen. Paste that in. Filter that out. And so now we'll just swap these out. So if we were on the security panel, going left will take us to the weather, and going right will take us to the thermostat. Copy that again, and then finally go down to our weather, paste that in. Same thing there where we'll swap it about. So going to the right will take us back to security, and left to the thermostat. So save that, run it again, and now we've got this nice draggable loop set up, which is pretty cool. So a couple clicks, we've already built up some navigation flow, and we're ready to do a little bit more behavior. The next thing I always like to do is build up an animation. And an animation is really what breathes a little bit of life into the design. And we've got this menu on the right, a button for a menu, and then this scrolling menu layer. And inside of it, a bunch of different content that's off screen. So we can go ahead and set up an animation to slide that content in. And to do that, you just toggle recording animation. Go ahead, change this value back to 0 again, so everything pops up. And I'll close that off. We'll give our new animation a name, menu open. You can choose if you're going to use absolute values or not. In this case, I want it to start from a fixed value, and hit OK. That'll reset everything we've done, but it'll bootstrap our animation in our timeline for us. So now we can go ahead and preview and start looking at the steps of the animation. So, that's okay, but maybe we could do something a little bit nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and select our other steps that we have here and create a nice sort of stylized effect where they sort of slide in one after the other. So go ahead, drag that along. Again, nothing you need to write any code for. So these are things that, if you're a background in design, be very familiar with how these tools work. And you can start building up really nice, nuanced animations without writing any code. So that looks a little bit better. Everything sort of slides into place, and we can go take that and apply it to our application. Come out of here, you can see here we've got our menu open animation. We can then take that similar to our transitions where we start out with an action, touch event, do a animation as the action, and select our animation. We now have menu open, a couple different parameters here, so we could even reverse things or pause them or set it to a specific point in time if we wanted to. Save that. And finally, after that, we can go ahead and select our main menu control. That's the one with the X, and I can even reverse it so we can have that close effect set up for us. Touch, animation, select our animation, and in this case, we're going to set our progress to be 1, so finished, and we made sure to toggle the reverse option there. So that way it'll start from the end and reverse down. Save that, run it, so we have our nice slide out animation and our nice close effect already done for us. And really the last thing I want to do is we've got this nice menu pop out, but if you imagine maybe this was something that had little items on it that were variable length, maybe a few more, then you can go ahead and actually create an infinite scrolling list with just a few clicks. So from here, we can just select the scrolling menu layer, click Enable Scrolling, and go down and wrap content vertically. And now for that final touch, open up our menu, and now I can go ahead and loop that in a circular pattern. We still have our behavior there, and yeah, just magically works for us. So lots of cool features and functionality, and can't wait to hear what you think. So thank you very much for your time, and happy storyboarding.